They sold their mother's home and dumped her at a terminal. You're useless, they laughed. But she wasn't alone in the shadows. You won't believe how a silent stranger and a simple broom turned her tragedy into a miracle. Lola Esperanza stands alone at the noisy Pasay bus terminal. She's 75 years old today. Her old biome bag feels heavy in her tired hands. Inside the bag, she has only 450 pesos left. Her heart is heavier than her luggage. Her eldest son Paolo and daughter Nikki smiled earlier. "Ma, sign these PhilHealth update forms," Paolo had said. Lola Esperanza trusted her own blood. She signed the papers without reading the small print. It was not a health form at all. It was a deed of sale for her house. They sold her ancestral home for 3.5 million pesos. "Ma, you're getting forgetful," Nikki whispered coldly. "Go live in the province now." They gave her a one-way ticket to the north. Paolo climbed into a shiny new SUV. He bought it with the money from her house. He drove away without looking back once. The sun was setting on her old life. Dust from the terminal filled her lungs. She was homeless and betrayed by her own children. Have you ever felt abandoned by those you loved most? Lola Esperanza walks with heavy steps to Baclaran Church. The Manila heat is thick and humid tonight. She enters the holy place of the Mother of Perpetual Help. Thousands of candles flicker in the dark corners. She falls to her knees on the hard floor. Her biome bag sits like a stone beside her. "Oh God, why have my children done this?" she cries. Her voice is lost in the murmurs of the crowd. She feels a hand touch her shoulder gently. A man is sitting on the wooden pew nearby. He wears a clean, simple barong Tagalog. His skin is the color of rich, tilled earth. He carries a broom made of coconut sticks. "Good evening, Lola," the man says softly. His eyes are kind and very bright. "My name is Gabriel."
Why do you weep so bitterly? Lola tells him the story of the stolen house. She speaks of the 3.5 million pesos. She describes Paolo's cold eyes and the new SUV. Gabriel listens without interrupting her once. He does not offer her a single centavo. Instead, he looks at the altar and speaks. "Lola, think about this carefully," he says. "If you lost your house but kept your wisdom, who truly became poor today?" The question hangs in the air like incense. Lola feels a sudden spark inside her chest. She looks at her empty, wrinkled hands. "They are the ones who are empty," she whispers. "Yes," Gabriel replies with a small smile. "They have walls, but they have no peace." Now the truth will be revealed to her heart. If you believe that God protects the discarded, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Gabriel stands up and helps her stand. He picks up her heavy bayong bag for her. They walk through the busy streets of Parañaque. The smell of fried fish and jasmine is everywhere. He leads her to a quiet boarding house nearby. It is a small room with a wooden bed. "This is 100 pesos for the night," Gabriel says. Lola pays the landlady with a shaking hand. "Rest now, Lola Esperanza," Gabriel tells her. "Your journey is not over. It is just starting." He begins to sweep the hallway outside her door. The sound of his broom is calm and steady. Lola lies down on the thin mattress. She realizes she is no longer afraid of the dark. The stranger's words are her new foundation. She falls asleep to the sound of the sweeping. It feels like the hand of God is near. The sun is not yet up in the city of Parañaque. Roosters are crowing from the rooftops of the squatters' area. Gabriel wakes Lola Esperanza with a gentle tap on her door. "Lola, there is work to do near the market," he says. His voice is calm, like the morning breeze from the sea. They walk together to a small carinderia called Marta's Cucina.
The place is a mess of plastic chairs and sticky tables. The floor is covered in grease and old vegetable scraps. Aling Marta, the owner, is crying over a small notebook.
"I am losing 2,000 pesos every single day,"
Marta screams. She throws a rotten cabbage into the middle of the street.
"The vendors cheat me, and the helpers steal the rice."
Gabriel stands near the door and begins to sweep the dust. He looks at Lola Esperanza and gives a slow, meaningful nod. Lola feels a sudden fire waking up in her old bones. She was a market vendor in Cavite for 40 long years. She knows the weight of a fish just by looking at it. She knows when a sack of rice is mixed with sand. "Aling Marta, stop your crying and listen to me," Lola says. Her voice is loud and sharp like a ringing church bell. Marta looks up and wipes her nose with her dirty apron.
"What can an old woman like you do for me?"
Marta asks. "I can save your soul and your wallet," Lola replies firmly. Lola does not wait for an invitation to start working. She grabs a rag and starts scrubbing the greasy tables. She throws away the spoiled food that smells of death. She opens the notebook and finds all the missing centavos. At 4 in the morning, she leads Marta to the big palenque. Lola walks through the stalls like a general leading an army. She talks to the meat sellers in their own rough language. "Do not sell me this old pork," she tells the big man. "I know you bought this yesterday at a low price." The meat seller tries to argue, but Lola stares him down. She negotiates the prices until they are fair and honest. She buys fresh ginger, garlic, and heavy beef bones. Back at the kitchen, she starts her secret transformation. She prepares a special recipe for her famous bok choy soup. She boils the bones for hours until the marrow melts. The broth becomes rich, dark, and full of hidden power. Even in the hardest times, God gives us the strength to rise.
If you feel that light is returning to your life, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. The smell of the soup travels down the whole busy street. Soon, the jeepney drivers start stopping their colorful vehicles. "What is that heavenly smell, Aling Marta?" the drivers ask. They sit down and eat 2 big bowls of Lola's bok choy. They tell their friends about the old woman with magic hands. Within 3 months, the profit of the carinderia triples. The 2,000 peso loss becomes a 6,000 peso gain. Lola Esperanza is no longer a homeless woman in a room. She is now the manager of the busiest kitchen in the district. She earns a decent share of the money and buys new clothes. She wears a clean white apron and a proud, happy smile. She has regained her dignity and her place in the world. Gabriel is always there, sweeping the sidewalk outside the door. He never asks for a single peso from the daily earnings. One afternoon, he brings her a glass of cold calamansi juice. "You are a blessing to this place, Lola," Gabriel whispers. Lola looks at her hands, covered in salt and spices. "I thought my life was over at the bus terminal," she says. "God never makes anything that is truly useless," Gabriel replies. He smiles at her and goes back to his quiet work. Lola realizes that her age is not a heavy burden anymore. Her grey hair is a crown of experience and survival. The people in the street now call her Manager Lola. They bow their heads in respect when she passes by. Her children thought she was a piece of trash to discard. But here, she is the golden foundation of a new life. Does God always use the weak to shame the strong? Do you think it is ever too late
to start over again. Lola Esperanza sits on her narrow bed in the boarding house. The room is small, but it is clean and quiet. She takes her old faded Byong bag from the corner. She wants to arrange her few belongings with care.
At the very bottom, she feels something hard and rectangular. It is her late husband's Bible wrapped in plastic. The leather cover is cracked from many years of use. She opens it to find a photograph of her wedding day.
Oh, Lito, if only you could see me now,
she whispers. Her thumb brushes a strange bump in the back cover. There is a hidden compartment sewn inside the lining. With trembling fingers, she pulls at the loose threads. A thick, yellowed envelope falls onto her lap. Inside is a transfer certificate of title for land. It is for a 1.5-hectare lot in Bulacan. Lola remembers this place from a long time ago. Her children called it a useless, smelly swamp. They said it was worth nothing but mosquitoes and mud. But then she finds a small, handwritten letter inside. The date on the letter is 1998. It is her husband's neat, careful handwriting. My Esperanza, I have paid taxes 30 years in advance. One day, this swamp will become a garden. Wait until you see how God turns mud into gold. If you trust God with your future, please like and subscribe to this channel. Lola starts to cry, her tears wetting the old paper. Her husband was looking after her even from the grave. She felt poor, but he left her a secret treasure. Gabriel appears at the open door of her small room. He is holding his broom and looking at the sunset. The seeds planted in secret grow the tallest, Gabriel says. His voice is like a warm blanket on a cold night. Is this real, Gabriel, or just more mud? Lola asks. Gabriel steps closer and touches the corner of the document. The world sees a swamp, but God sees a foundation. Go to the municipal hall tomorrow morning, Lola. Check the status of your land with your own eyes. Lola holds the Bible close to her tired heart. She is a landowner with a legacy from Lito. Her children's greed blinded them to this simple truth. The most valuable things are hidden in the Word. If this story reminds you that God remembers you, support it with a like, subscribe, and write inheritance if you believe in His perfect timing. She closes the Bible and looks at the sky. Hope is a flame that never truly goes out. Tomorrow, she will claim what is rightfully hers. The old woman is about to surprise the whole world. Do you believe that God stores blessings for the right time? The sun is already high over the busy market. Lola Esperanza is busy at Marta's Cucina. She is serving plates of hot sinangag and tapa. The workers call her Lola with much love. She feels useful and alive in this small place. Suddenly, a loud horn honks outside the eatery. A black SUV pulls up to the dusty curb. The shiny paint looks wrong in this poor neighborhood. Paolo and Nikki step out of the car. They look at the grease on the floor with disgust. Nikki wears a dress that costs more than a house. Look at this place. It smells of cheap fish, Nikki says. She points at her mother with a polished finger. Look at our mother, the glorified dishwasher, she laughs. Paolo does not even say "Kumusta po" to her. He slams a blue folder onto the serving counter. Ma, we don't have all day for this, Paolo says. This is a special power of attorney for the insurance. It is only 50,000 pesos from Dad's old policy. We need it to pay for Nikki's new designer bag. Lola Esperanza stops wiping the counter and looks up.
She sees the hunger for money in their tired eyes. They have millions from the house, but they want more. Gabriel is nearby, wiping a glass with a white cloth. He does not speak, but his presence is very heavy. He looks at Paulo with a calm, piercing gaze. Paulo feels a strange pressure in his chest suddenly. He feels like a small child standing before a judge. The air in the eatery feels suddenly very still. The truth is about to shine light on their dark hearts.
If you believe that God sees every hidden motive, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Anak, listen to my words for 1 minute, Lola says. Her voice is soft, but it cuts through the noise. You sold my home and left me at a terminal. Now you come here for a few more pesos. Greed is a fire that will eat your whole life. Please stop this now and change your ways. Paolo's face turns red with a sudden, ugly anger. We don't need your advice, old woman, he yells. The customers stop eating and look at the scene. You are nothing but a servant in a dirty kitchen. Just give us your thumb mark and stay in your place. Lola Esperanza stands tall, her back straight as a spear. She picks up the blue folder and hands it back. I will not sign anything for you ever again, she says. My name and my dignity are not for sale. Nikki gasps and stamps her expensive heel on the ground. You will regret this, you stubborn old lady, Nikki screams. They storm out and kick a plastic chair on their way. The SUV speeds away, leaving a cloud of black smoke. Lola Esperanza breathes in and looks at Gabriel. Gabriel gives her a small, approving nod of his head. The chains are finally broken, Lola, Gabriel says softly. She feels a great weight lifting from her old heart. She turns back to her customers with a peaceful smile. Who wants more hot soup? She asks the workers. She is no longer a victim of her own children. She is a woman of power and holy truth. Lola Esperanza enters the Land Registration Authority office early. The ceiling fans hum a tired song above the lines. The air smells of old paper and heavy dust. She holds her Bayong bag tightly against her chest. Gabriel walks beside her with a calm and steady pace. He wears his simple barong and humble rubber sandals. He stops to help a crying child find his mother. Lola finally reaches the counter and presents her document. The young clerk looks tired and very bored at first. She takes the yellowed paper with a sigh. She types the land title number into her computer. Suddenly, the clerk stops typing and leans forward quickly. She rubs her eyes and looks at the screen again. Is there a problem with my paper, ma'am? Lola asks. Her voice is small and full of old fears. Lola, please wait here for 1 moment, the clerk says. She runs to the back to call her manager. A man in a sharp barong comes out immediately. He looks at the document and then at Lola. Lola Esperanza, do you know where this land is? It is just a swamp in Bulacan, sir, she says. My husband Lito bought it for our old age. The manager smiles and shakes his head in disbelief. It was a swamp when your husband was alive, Lola. But the new international airport project is moving there. The government has chosen your land for the main entrance. Every single vehicle entering the airport must pass your land. Lola feels the room spinning around her for a second. Gabriel places a firm hand on her thin shoulder. His touch is cool and brings peace to her heart. The developers are offering 28 million pesos for this. They have been searching for the owner for 2 years. 28 million pesos for a piece of mud and water. The value of what her children called trash is now a mountain of gold. If you believe God rewards the patient heart, please like this video
and subscribe to our channel. Across the city, Paolo and Nikki are at a mall. They sit at a cafe surrounded by shopping bags, but their faces are full of worry and dark shadows. "The money from the house is almost finished, Paolo," Nikki cries. "You lost 1 million in that stupid crypto scheme. And you spent 500,000 on jewelry," Paolo snaps. They have only a few thousand pesos left now. The bank is already chasing their new, shiny SUV. They are fighting over who will pay for the coffee. They have everything, yet they have absolutely nothing at all.
Lola walks out of the office into the bright sun. Gabriel is waiting for her near a large acacia tree. He is talking to a man with a kind face. "Lola, meet Attorney Santos," Gabriel says with a smile. "He does not care for big fees or power. He cares for justice and for the forgotten widows." Attorney Santos takes Lola's hand and bows his head. "Gabriel told me about your strength, Lola Esperanza. We will place this money into a legal trust. Your children will not touch a single centavo of this. You are now a woman of great wealth, Lola." Lola looks at the crowds of people walking by. She sees the homeless children and the lonely old men. "I don't want a mansion or a shiny car," she says. "I want to build a home for those with nothing." Gabriel looks at her and his face shines brightly. "A heart that was broken knows how to build. God gave you this treasure to heal other wounds. The swamp was never useless. It was a garden." Lola signs the documents with a firm, clear hand. She is no longer the woman abandoned at the terminal. She is the steward of a great, holy blessing. Truth has finally come out into the morning light. The lies of her children have fallen like leaves. God's justice is a rising sun over the islands. Do you believe that what the world rejects, God can use for glory? Lola Esperanza does not buy a big house for herself. She does not buy a luxury condo in Makati. Instead, she goes to a forgotten part of Manila. She finds an old, dusty warehouse near the harbor. The walls are grey and the roof has many holes. "This is the place," she says to Gabriel. Gabriel nods and starts to clean the cobwebs away. He works without a word, his movements very smooth. Lola uses her money to build Bahay Biyaya. In English, they call it the House of Grace. It is a beautiful home for abandoned senior citizens. The rooms are bright and filled with fresh air. There are gardens with calamansi trees and fragrant jasmine. Lola finds 12 elderly women living on the streets. They were sleeping on cardboard boxes near the church. "Come with me," Lola tells them with a small smile. "I need your help to run this new home." She hires them to work in the kitchen and gardens. She gives them 15,000 pesos every month. But she gives them something much more important. She gives them a purpose and a real family. Lola gives them a salary and a home. If you believe that God uses our trials to help others, please support this video with a like and subscribe to the channel. The women cook the famous bachoy soup every morning. The smell of ginger and beef fills the whole neighborhood. Gabriel is always there, fixing the broken wooden chairs. He touches the wood and the cracks disappear naturally. One afternoon, a news crew arrives with big cameras. They want to interview the angel of the warehouse. Lola stands in her clean apron, looking very humble. "I was abandoned too," she tells the whole nation. "God used my pain to build these strong walls." The story of Lola Esperanza goes viral on the television. People from all over the islands send their love. She is a hero, but she feels like a servant. She sits on the porch with Gabriel at night. The sun sets, turning the sky into purple gold. True wealth is measured by the hearts you touch. If this story reminded you that God turns ruins into monuments, please like, subscribe, and write "Grace" in the comments to show your support. Lola looks at the 12 women laughing together. They are no longer beggars or trash to anyone. They are the queens of the house of grace. Gabriel smiles and picks up his simple wooden broom. "The light is very bright here now," he says. Lola realizes that her revenge was not a sword. Her revenge was a table where everyone could eat. Do you think that giving is the best way to heal? 1 year has passed since Bahay Biaya first opened its doors.
The gardens are full of white sampaguita and green leaves. Lola Esperanza sits on the porch, drinking her warm ginger tea. Suddenly, 2 shadows appear at the heavy iron gates. It is Paulo and Nikki, but they look very different now. Their expensive clothes are now stained, dirty, and very torn. Paulo's shiny SUV is gone, replaced by dusty, broken slippers. Nikki is not wearing her designer bags or gold jewelry anymore. They look like the beggars they once mocked at the church. They fell into a greedy investment scheme and lost everything. The bank took their house and threw them onto the street. "Ma, please open the gate!" Paulo screams through the bars. "We have nowhere to go and nothing to eat today." "We are so sorry for what we did to you, Ma." They are weeping, but their tears smell of hunger, not love. Lola Esperanza walks slowly to the gate with a calm face. Gabriel stands in the shadows, leaning on his wooden broom. He is smiling at the children with a deep, silent wisdom. "Ma, just give us a loan to start a new business. We will pay you back every centavo. We promise this time." Lola looks at her children and then looks at Gabriel. She does not reach for her wallet or a checkbook. Instead, she reaches for 2 old, heavy wooden mops. She slides the mops through the bars of the gate. "I will not give you a single peso," Lola says. "Money only fed your pride and blinded your wicked hearts. I will give you the advice you once laughed at. Respect is not bought with stolen millions from your mother. Respect is earned through the sweat of your own brow. You can start today by cleaning the toilets of this home. I will pay you the minimum wage, just like the others." Paulo and Nikki fall to their knees in the hot dust. The old woman they discarded is now their only hope. They realize the foundation they broke was their own life. The truth is finally clear in the bright morning light. God does not punish, but He lets the seeds grow. Lola turns away and walks back to her peaceful home. She knows that true mercy is teaching a soul to work. The House of Grace is a place for new beginnings. Everything is balanced in the eyes of our Lord. The humble are lifted up, and the proud are humbled. If this story reminded you that God sees everything and acts in His perfect time, please support it with a like. Subscribe to our channel and write the word faith in the comments if you believe in God's justice.